Hello everybody, Elle here. Just thought I'd come on and say hi. And I wanted to share something with you that I hope will help you out in your own life. And that is something that I get asked a lot. People often ask me how they can reduce emotionally reacting to things that people say to them so that they can feel better about themselves afterwards. First of all, if you are emotionally reacting to something that somebody says to you, then you are experiencing an activation of your nervous system. What this means is that something in your background has been unsafe to express or is inhibited or repressed, otherwise, you wouldn't get triggered. Think of it this way: you might recognize that some people say things to you and you have a very neutral reaction, and sometimes people say things to you and you feel very emotionally charged. It's important to understand that when you did something in your childhood that was met with disapproval, you had to find a way to cope with that disapproval. And this is what causes the nervous system reaction in the first place. Because as a child, we don't usually know or have any coping strategies, our mind goes into the fight, flight, or freeze response to try to cope with the disapproval. Remember also as a child, when somebody disapproves of something that we do, we often interpreted that as a rejection of ourselves rather than a rejection of our behavior. Whatever nervous system response you had to these incidences in your childhood are most likely the same responses you're having now. For example, if somebody in my childhood criticized me a lot and I felt rejected, unless I am unaware of this now, I will experience the same feeling when other people criticize me. It's important to recognize how you reacted to these early childhood experiences in order to understand your current reaction. For example, if I was criticized as a child and I ran away and isolated myself in my bedroom, it's quite likely that when someone criticizes me now, that I leave the situation or I run away. In terms of the fight, flight, or freeze response, I would be using the flight response. If I became conscious of my current reaction to other people's criticisms, I might notice that I still use this response. And once I recognize this, I'm in a position to change the pattern. How you change this pattern is by recognizing that you are emotionally triggered and realizing that it comes from your past. Otherwise, you wouldn't be triggered. Allow yourself to sit with the emotional reaction and not do the typical fight, flight, or freeze response that you would normally do. For example, if someone tells you what to do you yell, fight back, rebel against them, or do you give in or shut down? When you recognize your pattern, sit with the feeling without doing that same thing. In other words, instead of yelling back, even if that's typically what you do, sit with the feeling no matter how tempting it is to yell back until your nervous system has deactivated. Once this happens, now you're in a position to respond to the present situation instead of reacting to it from an unconscious pattern from the past. Once you're in a position to respond and your nervous system is calmed down, ask yourself, how would I respond to this situation with love? I like to do this because I find that when I ask myself this, I know what to do as opposed to saying, how do I want to respond to this situation, which leaves way too many choices for me anyway. So this is not only going to help you not to react emotionally, but it's also going to help you to respond to situations in a way that feels better to you. It's also going to help you to retrain your nervous system from an old coping pattern that's being activated from past events and not what's happening in your life currently. So I hope this video has been helpful for you, and that if you think someone can benefit from this video, that you will share it with other people. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Elle Bradley Channel for more videos like this.